You are now listening to the Noir podcast. I'm your host, Chukwudi, and with me is my co-host, Chudu. It is currently pouring cats and dogs outside right now.
When rainy season, Abi.
Yeah.
Guy, it was like when I found out that Nigeria doesn't have summer, I just knew like, what year was that? I think I was 2016 actually. I was like, damn, we're just useless, man.
So before 2016, you thought Nigeria used
Guy, I
to
thought we had, cause you know like summer break now, after like,
yeah.
it was called summer. So I thought we had summer, but like, cause I was usually like during summer break, I'm never in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So it's like, that summer, cause I missed my flight because of the rain.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is it raining like this at this time? I was like, yeah. They were like, oh yeah, it's actually like rainy season in Nigeria.
Yeah.
During this time. So I was like, damn,
Okay.
that's crazy.
I remember there was one year, like I stayed back during summer when I was just like young, like maybe like, how old was I? I was maybe like 6, 7. I just remember like I spent that summer in Nigeria. They sent me to summer school.
Damn.
And like, you know, back when we were younger, summer school was seen for like bad children and like last people. So I was just like, guy, what I do to end up here? Like, all I remember, because I remember I did it at Meadow Hall, and all I remember is there was this guy that had a PSP, and like he refused to share with anybody.
Well,
And
I'm all those kind of guys.
Guy, because I was very big into gaming back then. Like, you're a kid now, so
Yeah.
guy, can I play your game? I'll be like, no. After maybe the second day, I just give up. I was like,
Look, you say, guy, can I play your game? It's crazy.
no, but that was the life back then.
I'm
Man.
dead, man. Yeah, that PSP era was too clutch, man.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Apparently, they're bringing a new one out.
Yeah, my brother told
Do you
me.
think it'll hit the same?
I don't know, we did Nintendo Switch and everything. I don't know, like, I don't know if it'll be the same, man. To be fair, I'm not into gaming anymore, so I'm
Same.
only the person to ask.
Same. And I hate the fact that that's a thing.
Guy, I don't know, like, I remember when I used to be addicted, bro. Like, I won't leave the house.
Yeah.
Like, I used to wait for weeks because, like, my mom used to be like, oh, no games during the week.
Yeah.
The
Weekends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I used to even sneak to even plug in my PS4. But now it's like, I don't have any games on my phone, bro.
Guy.
Like, I don't know when that switch happened.
Bruh.
Like, I don't know if it's a thing for everyone, sure.
I think it is, because for me as well, I was very big into gaming. Guy. I think my mom wanted to punish me, and like there was an era she stopped beating me, so like she would just take away my game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, guy, just beat me, like.
Guy, the last time my dad sees my PSP, that's in sporty was. It's still in my house. That exact same place. I saw it like last week. I'm like, damn, that's so crazy, man. But I was like, man, I don't even give a fuck anymore, man, about gaming.
And portable gaming used to be such a thing back then. So I remember, maybe you're traveling, you're at the airport, you just bring out your PSP, you're
PSP.
playing, or like you have a DS, you're playing.
We used to exchange cartridges.
Yeah.
Games, man.
Yeah.
That people was clutch, man.
And it's so, I don't know how to put it. So obviously now that you have like the PS4, PS5, all them ones, to play those you have to be at home. So it's to me it seems like gaming has sort of regressed in that regards in terms of like.
Why did they even stop PSPs anyway? Like,
I feel like this is what I believe. This is going to sound like a bit conspiracy theorist of me, but hang with me. I genuinely believe that the government wanted us to start staying at home more, and because of that, that's why like Netflix became bigger during that period as well, and then gaming has been like designed to keep you inside.
why would they want us to be inside?
Man, why does the government do anything?
Because it's like I kind of understand what you're saying, but especially after because this whole COVID thing,
Yeah.
and like because Elon Musk came out like was it last year and said, "Oh, we should start driving," because he wants us to
Back to the office.
Back to the office,
Yeah.
you guys. But to be fair for him, he sells cars,
Yeah.
so it makes sense. So I don't know if I don't know why they want us to be inside. I don't know, but I get your theory, sure. Kind of makes sense.
That bit I haven't like been able to like figure
the
out,
reason
but
why,
I genuinely believe they're trying to make us.
Because like
serious,
it
man.
was like even like Nintendo's as well, Nintendo DS and everything, they just stopped.
Yeah.
But they brought back the Switch. But like
I feel like being a child now is just so raz.
so
TV
raz,
is
man.
bad, gaming is bad. Like all they have is TikTok, and I genuinely believe that TikTok is going to make children. I'm not going to use that word.
yeah, that word. I
But
know
like
you
it's going
say.
to make them stupid.
Why?
Cause at that age, I feel it's overstimulation for a child.
But we had Facebook.
Huh?
We had Facebook.
We had Facebook, but do you think we spent as much time on Facebook as children spend on TikTok right now?
Yes. I think you forget
And I
what we did
eat.
on Facebook.
An 8-year-old scrolls through TikTok right now,
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel, at least for me, I wasn't allowed to get on Facebook till I was like 12, 13.
when did Facebook start popping?
It started popping like, for most people, at least I was around like end of like end of primary, beginning of secondary.
So like that's what I'm saying. 11.
So like 10, 11, yeah.
So I'm saying like, I think it's a fault. Like it's not really fair because social media started popping around that time for us.
Yeah.
So I think for them, like the younger generation, it started early for them. So I don't think it's a fair.
I don't
Like, do you
I
get-
don't disagree. But Facebook had been around for time before then. That's one. And two, Facebook and TikTok are very different things, because back then Facebook was literally you go and you chat, and then occasionally you post pictures. Like, Facebook was a very watered down version of what Instagram currently is right now. Very watered down. TikTok, on the other guy, you're just scrolling, and
Yeah.
I feel because of that, it's training your mind to be very, what's the word? Like, your attention span.
Yeah,
is
that's why
kind of
the
getting
essential
fucked
span
with.
thing. Like that's why even music now is most songs are like 2 seconds. I said 2 seconds.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's the essential, but I feel like because we're in the era right now, I think
Yeah.
TikTok and Facebook, the way Facebook was back then, like then Twitter now came obviously. I think Facebook then was also very crazy because I remember being on Facebook for hours, bro. So I don't know. I just
But
think
you were
the same.
conversing with people on Facebook. Do you get what I
Yeah,
mean?
people are talking on TikTok now.
But that's not, how do I put this? Facebook primarily was to talk with people. Do you get what I mean? I
I
would
post as well now.
No.
Guys, no more sends me like my old posts on Facebook.
Yeah, this is what I had to do with my account.
It wasn't anything crazy, but I didn't. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember a thing.
Guy,
I used to
no,
post, bro.
I don't remember anything on Facebook aside this one picture I posted. And if I could go back in time, like, I would kneecap myself to prevent myself from
Yeah, those Facebook posts.
Guy.
Man, damn.
Guy, I was
What were we
wearing
thinking?
shorts, right? I had this shirt. I had my legs like crossed, and I had this snapback on because it was snapback era.
Yeah, snapback era.
I got-
man.
This, how do I put this right? I had no sense of lighting, so I'm already dark. But guy, I looked like dark chocolate Maltesers.
Where were all our pictures like that during that time?
Because
I don't get
that
it, man.
was just the era. And every time I look at that
Bro.
picture, right? Because I remember when I posted it, people were calling me, guy, you're so fresh, guy. And I look at it and I'm like, this is why it's not good to listen to anybody.
No, but to be fair, like, how old were you?
12, 13.
You know.
Guy, guy.
That was it.
Do you remember that
picture?
picture of one of our guys? Do you remember that picture of Diggs with like the four snapbacks on his
Yeah, that
head?
snapback era was actually crazy. Like,
Guy, I will not, guy.
I needed a snapback.
Guy, I remember just Family Day fit, snapback,
Snapback,
skinny jeans.
Toms,
Guy,
Shambhala,
guy, fuck.
silly bands. I'll not forget that era, man. That thing was so simple, man. It was so fucking simple.
Guy,
But do you know what's so crazy about like trends here? Because I can never imagine myself in my life ever wearing skinny jeans again. I can never do it, bro.
but how do I put it? You know, when you're a child,
Mm-hmm.
you are more, what's the word, likely to try and conform with what your peers are doing than when you're an adult. Don't get me wrong, peer pressure still exists as an adult, but children are more likely to make themselves uncomfortable to fit in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, guy, I hated skinny jeans because I was fat. And, like, guy, the thing used to always, like, guy, my leg was always paining me every time I would remove my skinny
But
jeans.
it's
Guy,
fucking
tight.
so tight, pause. But like, you're so fucking tired, but you can't even move well. Like, nah.
And do
That era was crazy.
you know something that, like, I think about when looking back at that era? Imagine being a parent. Like, imagine being a dad in that era where, like, you're just looking at your son and, like, you kind of just have to let him do it because, you know.
But even then, like, I think parents were wearing skinny jeans as well.
Yeah, well, like, how do I put this?
I think it's baggier now.
Their
Even then, they were skinny.
skinnies were, I promise you,
Yeah, obviously,
our skinnies were
crazy,
skinny,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, skinnies were skinny, bro. I don't even care. I just can't see that era coming back ever.
Never. It can't.
It can't. It was
It
too bad.
can't. Because we've moved. Guy, do you remember truck fit? Like, like, how do I put it? It was a moment. It's kind of like, imagine, I don't know, what was that hairstyle that they were rocking like the 70s?
For men.
mullets. Imagine mullets coming
Some
back.
guys are doing mullets now again.
Guy.
White guys anyway.
Yeah, but it's not. Do you get? I don't think it will ever be like trendy as per.
I feel like it can be trendy again.
Really, you
Even
think?
mohawks as well.
No,
feel like
Mohawks. I get, but you think of mullet.
But black guys don't do mullets. That's why you can't see it now.
But I feel
Because there's one guy on Love Island that had the mullets, and
Really?
it was nice on him.
fair
To be
enough.
fair. Like all those, like I see trends coming back, but that skinny jean one, man, I don't know, bro. I just can't, like, it's just so
Yeah,
crazy,
man,
though.
skinny
I won't partake, Sha, if you tell me back.
Guy
I don't
said,
I mean, I like
guy
my
said,
baggy,
I'm gonna sit this one out.
I like my baggy jeans, man, or baggy, like, whatever.
Nah, man.
That one is better, man, to
Yeah.
be fair.
Well, as it is the month of June, just to get this right, because I remember the first episode when we
Yeah,
were
you
recording.
fucked that show, to be
Yeah,
fair.
but this is Men's
Yeah,
Mental Health
mhm.
Month, right?
And Pride Month.
So that time, what did I say? Like,
In July, no, you said it was.
oh shit!
Yeah.
So what happens in July? There was something going on in July. I think it was Black History Month.
Let's not fuck it up again.
All right, cool.
Let's just, we know, the one we know now.
let's
The one
let's
we
stick
know
to
now
what we
is,
know now.
the one we know now is,
It's
men's
black.
mental
It's
health.
oh shit! It's
Men's mental health and pride.
Nah,
Month.
but I can't lie, because I remember last year you were telling me that like it's not.
Mhm.
And I doubled down, and that was the first thing. They were like, "How can you lie so calm?" Because I had people coming to tell me like, that I'm so dangerous. Because how can I look into the? How can I just come? How can I just come and lie on the internet so
Unprovoked.
confidently? It's so confidently.
Bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for men's mental health
Yeah.
month. Anytime this month comes, I remember when we were in Cairns, I made that video for what did we make? I think for Nigerian society.
I can't lie, I wasn't part.
Remember?
That mental health talk, everything having to do with it, I remember I did not participate.
Why we're not interested?
Not even I wasn't interested. Either I was busy or like I don't know. I think I was busy or preoccupied with something. But I remember that.
Yeah, that's the first time I actually like even knew there was only thing about men's mental health.
Fairs.
But it just got me thinking like, when did I actually like realize mental health was even a thing?
Yeah.
Because I didn't even know it was a thing for the longest.
Yeah.
I think it was until 2017 I realized like, oh, that even mattered. Because it was always it is what it is. Like charges to the game, like whatever. Anything that happens to you, man, it's not even that deep. You just move on.
Yeah.
Do you get? So I didn't even know that caring about your mental health was actually a thing, especially in men as well.
Yeah.
So it's like it's nice that we have a month like to actually like raise awareness, because many men, again, like we've been brought up to not have emotions or like be emotionless, or like cause of different factors like having to take care of your family and having emotions, like dwell on your emotions, it doesn't really go together. So I guess that's why, but still like many men are dying every day due to like so many factors, because we don't speak up and everything. So I think it's very important that we raise that awareness for men, especially because that's not the culture. That's not how we are raised. So I think we need to change that. It's a real thing.
You know how they said like men are dying, like how you said men are dying every day. It reminds me of a story my dad was telling me a while ago. So apparently they kidnapped one of his guys, right? And the kidnappers were like, okay, start calling people for ransom. And my dad's guy called one of his brother-in-laws, this is like in the night, maybe around like, I don't know, 2 a.m. or something like that. So the kidnappers call the guy and they're like, we have your brother-in-law, I think the ransom they were asking for was like 5 million. This was like many years ago. And the guy's brother-in-law now tells the kidnappers, give my brother-in-law the phone. And he gives him, and the kidnappers give him. And then the guy's brother-in-law starts lambasting him. He's like, my friend, can't you die like a man? Like, why are you here disturbing everybody's night?
That like a man is funny, bro. What the hell?
Nah, but
Like,
with what you said now, like statements like that, especially, I think, obviously, with each generation, it differs in terms of perspective to things, in terms of evolution. But I would say that's something particularly, I guess, different from our generation to probably our parents in terms of, I think ours is more, even though I don't think we're perfect, we are more willing to have that conversation, if that makes sense. Because for me, growing up, even to a degree now, I don't know how I put it, like, my mental health isn't necessarily something I register as a thing, right? What I've always been aware of is emotions, right? So I wouldn't, there would be some times where, like, maybe, I don't know, I guess, let me use something like anxiety. So that's mental health, right? I wouldn't see that as mental, just like, oh, I'm afraid in this moment, if that makes sense. So because of that, I've always been, like, I guess, not necessarily, I feel like I've always known how I felt in different, like, scenarios, but maybe communicating that and, doing things to effectively remedy that hasn't always been something I have been great at.
Yeah. I feel like that's for many men. Like I said, like I didn't even know what mental health was till like 2017, and it's like, and the minutes I actually like read about it and educated myself, I was like, damn, I've been dealing with these things for so many years, and like I didn't register in my head. So I feel like, like you said, like our generation is at least like, I won't say we are better, but like at least we're more educated in that aspect, like going to therapy. Even though many people still don't go, but it's true, like at least it's a thing now. At least you can go to therapy, like being in touch with your emotions. But it's true, like there's still a stigma against like men talking about how they feel or expressing their emotions, because it's like, and what there was like in terms of like basketball now. I think Rudy was crying, and like I think he was emotional about something, I can't remember. And when I saw the video, I was like, okay, like this is crazy. Like he actually like expressed himself. And I went through the comments and like the reactions. Guys were clowning him, and it's like I was not thinking like, am I crazy for like thinking that this is crazy that they are bashing him for crying, like expressing himself? But I don't realize that like that's just how niggas are. You get like you crying is like a sign of weakness, basically. You get.
I think it also like depends on why, and to be fair, we're also in a very social media centric era as well, because this thing you spoke about reminds me of 2016 when Braun won like the chip for the Cavs and like he broke down in tears. I don't remember anybody like clowning him for that. Do you get what I mean?
I mean, don't clown him, but they use it as memes though.
Everything is memeable today. Like, you can say I love my wife and it's a meme.
Yeah. So I don't know, like I guess, but I don't know. I feel like I don't ever see myself ever crying in public, not because I don't want to, but because of that stigma around it. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear that, and I think growing up as well, like, in my head. Okay, to be fair, I don't think there's ever really been a time I wanted to cry in public and held it, but in my head I just go, why am I crying in public? Like, cause this, I don't know how to put it. This is one is for me what I see as crying isn't just a few tears, like I spell like ugly cry, and doing that in public, at least from my personal perspective for myself, is dramatic. Like I feel like it brings unnecessary attention to myself, and I just, do you get what I mean? I don't want that. Cause when last did you cry? Let's actually start there. When last did you cry,
bro? Like proper cry.
When last?
I think last year.
Okay.
August. When my friend died.
Okay, fair enough.
But that was even I don't say in public. I was at work. But I went to like the balcony.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, but yeah, that was the last time I
fair
proper
enough.
like.
Fair enough.
But even then, I don't even count that because that was like a crazy situation. We're talking about like a normal day, just crying because maybe you're stressed or something. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, like
I think something has to trigger me insanely. Yes.
For me, what would make me cry?
I'm talking about ugly, like not ugly crying, but
like as per ball out.
Yeah.
It's same thing as you, which is loss, because I feel like that is like, wow, this is like final kind of peace. But if I'm stressed, can't lie, my solution is just to go and sleep. Or even if I can't sleep, like more times than not, it won't make me want to cry. I'll just be very angry.
When they're angry tears.
I don't. It wouldn't boil down to tears. It's just anger as per everybody leave me alone. Not because I want to cry, but I don't want to say anything that's because it's coming from a stress place or just that I just want to be left alone. But yeah, like because obviously I think with girls the narrative has always been they're more emotional. It's more socially acceptable because there are some of my female friends I talk to and they're like, guy, they know they schedule a day for crying. Like
bro.
I'm just like, wow,
I need that, man.
that's crazy.
Because I actually wish I cried more, to be honest. Because I don't know. I just feel like that day, like when my friend cried, when my friend died,
Yeah.
and I cried. I feel like even though I was crying mainly for him, I feel like there was also another part of me that was crying because this has not happened in a long time, and I was letting that out, and I felt like letting that out felt like better in a way, in a weird way, because I feel like keeping stuff in is just like I said in more episode, like it's a lot to do when you're just like you're not expressing yourself, not even to like in the public, but maybe to talking to someone or anything. Like just keeping that shit inside can be overwhelming in my experience anyway. So I feel like why I envy girls sometimes is just like you being able to just cry, or like it is accepted anyway for you to cry. It's just like, to me it's like a privilege in a way. I know people don't see it that way, but to me, sure, I wish I could cry more, just to let it out, man. Because keeping like I keep so many things inside, and I don't even talk about it, and it's like again it just comes out in the wrong manner. And I feel like that's for many men, and that's why when the people say, "Oh, babes are more emotional," I don't even agree with that, man. I feel like men are emotional and just in a different way, like in anger and like in how they reason as well. So I don't even think it's like, because like growing up, for instance, in my house, my mom didn't like spaz, but like act out in like a crazy way. It was more so my dad. So when people say, "Oh, babes," I'm like, I don't really see, because from growing up, that's not how it was for me. Anyway. So I think men show their emotions in like other ways, but it's not like in the way we see, like maybe crying or shouting or like changing it for people like babes do. So yeah, I just feel like mental health for men is really important. That's the baseline, and I feel like it should be encouraged more.
So for you in that regards, first of all, I think let's go back and because you said, once you found out about mental health, you did some research on it. What would you like briefly say mental health is? What does that look like for people that maybe don't know?
I feel like mental health is, you know how people like, I always compare it to, I don't know how to explain it, like if someone stabs you, what people ask for is like, everybody's looking for help.
Yeah.
People are like, how are they going to treat this?
Yeah.
When you're like down or depressed, it's not that same reaction. You get? It's just like, oh, it's not help that you're looking for. It's like, how do you get out of this? It's not like it's not like the same like crazy reaction, because it's not like in your face type shit. You get? So I feel like mental health is just like, it's so subtle that people don't really care about it, because it's not like in your face. So, and it can manifest in different ways, like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, so many things. And it's like, I was watching like a series, Mad Men, and like back then, like even going to a therapist was a whole like stigma. There was a stigma around it, like going to a psychiatrist, that means you're crazy. Do you get? So I think we have evolved to the point where it's like more accepted. But even like having anxiety, for example, now, it's not just your heart racing. It can also be you being irritated, or it can come out in different ways, different symptoms. You feeling like going to the bathroom, like when you're feeling anxious, or even you not having the ability to do anything. And there are people that are even anxious, but like they still manage to like be high functioning, like they can still do their work. But doesn't mean that you're not going through so many things. You guess, and even like having to take drugs, on drugs every day, anti-anxiety meds, antidepressants, all these things. So there's so many things involved. But like mental health is just like, I feel like it's as important, but it's just because it's not in your face as much. People don't really like care about it. Like, so that's just how I view it anyway.
Moving forward, what would you say the key is to, I guess, taking that next step for mental health? Because you brought up the example of if someone stabs you in the leg, you, the person that's been stabbed, because of the pain, you sort of like rush out to like somebody help me kind of piece. But with mental health, what I've noticed is a lot of guys especially like keep it in, and we are very, what's the word, prone to just isolating, everything is good kind of thing. So with guys as well, because there's a lot of discourse that goes on like, oh, men need to seek help, men need to be there for each other, but I can't be there for someone if they don't let me know, if that makes sense. So for me, I think that next step is, people need to start coming out more, because a lot of guys are so hell-bent on not wanting to be seen as weak. You know, it's basically, how can I be going through XYZ? But everyone's going through shit, man. Like, everybody's going through something. And I don't know how to put it. At least for me, what I've also realized is there are a lot of times where you might be going through something. You might not even necessarily speak about it, but I might not necessarily speak about something if I'm going through it, but just being surrounded by my guys for that brief moment, it's the therapy and relief I needed. Do you get what I mean? So at times when I've done that, and even though I know that issue is still waiting for me at the front, because I'm so, I guess, revitalized from seeing like my guys, it's like, okay, it's that much easier to handle, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like even with the analogy of like being stabbed, is like, if someone is like has been stabbed, you won't expect that person to go to work the next day because they've just been stabbed. The same way with your mental health. If you're depressed and like you're anxious, people don't have that same reaction. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you still have to do what you have to do because you have to do what you have to do. So it's not like the same like reaction. But to your point, like, we hope you're seeing your friends and like friends. I feel like everybody needs distractions, quote unquote. Especially when you're going through a mental hurdle or whatever. Like, seeing your friends, going to like taking a break, going on a holiday or something, just to like refresh your mind. That is very needed, because especially in like this capitalist society we live in, where you have to work every day. Even weekends now, people are even working weekends. So it's like you need to let yourself breathe and like relax and like, because again, once you're mentally done, you can't do anything. Once you're burnt out, because I even know burnout was a thing once you're in law school. Bro, one day, like, I couldn't even, like, I was open, the book was open, but I wasn't reading. I couldn't even read it, like, I couldn't even pronounce anything. Because I've been reading so much, and my head was just blagged. So, like, I think, again, it's just prioritizing yourself, because if you don't say, like, if you don't take care of that injury, that stab wound, you're going to get like an infection. If you don't take care of mental health, it's going to come out in a different way. So with men as well, like this stigma that we have, I think just going forward, like you said, we need to speak out more. Even though the stigma is, I don't feel like I'm ever going to be in a world where that stigma is not going to be there.
Yeah.
But I feel like we need to make a better effort.
Fair enough.
And also, we need to see the signs as like people like you surround yourself with. If they're not picking your calls, if they're not like coming out, if you're saying, okay guys, let's go out, they're not coming out. When you're with them, their energy is not high. I feel like we need to ask more questions, as men anyway. We need to say like, are you okay? And are you okay? Or how are you doing? Or like, oh, let's do this. Or let's watch a game together. It goes a long way, really. It doesn't have to be like, oh, are you mentally fine every time? Just like, the small things matter, especially with men as well, because we are never going to say, most of men are never going to say. So just trying to do different things. And that's what babes don't understand as well, and like the way men relate. Because it might just be like, okay, let's go to Strictly's house and watch football. I feel like for most guys, it might be a big thing because you're around niggas and like you're actually like having fun, laughing. For probably the first time in like a month. Do you guess?
This
But niggas don't understand.
this thing you said is very interesting because a while ago I was having a conversation with one of my female friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her point of view basically was she feels female friendships are deeper than male ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I didn't agree with her.
Mm-hmm.
Because what her basis was she said that, oh, we guys, our friendships are very shallow. It's not just come and watch ball or stuff like that. Like, a babe will actually, like, speak to another babe about all her issues and all of that. And I think for me, what it is it's one, men and women live different realities, even though it's the same world we're in. Like, we the challenges and things we go through are very different. So because of that, our realities are very different. And two, it's not a one size fits all kind of thing. So with us guys, I don't know how to explain it. A lot of stuff, let me use myself for example. A lot of the stuff that gets to me is stuff that nobody per se can help me with. And a lot of guys, I can't speak for every guy, but a lot of guys are very, because I know you can't offer a solution to what I'm handling. Do you get what I mean? So for example, I don't know, let's say for whatever reason I needed 100 mil, and you can't give that to me. Why am I? It's more, I guess, in that moment for a lot of people, it's more frustrating coming to Yan. I need 100 but the soul, and maybe there's a time. Do you get what I mean? So because of that, a lot of guys are very solution oriented, and they know said person can't offer solutions, so they are less likely to come talk to you. Because this is the thing that I love, guys and babes, especially in like relationships, butt heads in terms of, babes just want to talk and rant, but like guys are very quick to like give solutions, which is, why don't you do this? Why? And that irks a lot of women because to them, that need to just vent is what they want. Whereas with a guy, more often than not, we're not really engaging in that type of conversation unless, a solution is being tendered.
Like, I'm the same way. Like, if you can't, like, I just, like, sometimes I'm going through something, I'm like, who can I talk to about this? And I'll go through the list in my head, I'm like, damn, I can't talk about anyone about this situation. So I just hold it in or just solve it myself, you guess. So it's just one of the things that many men go through. Like, it's kind of sad when you think about it, because life, like, the reason why we're in this world, in my opinion, sure, is to be around people. And these people are meant to help you. You can't do shit alone, you guys. So when you just feel like everything, I have to do this by myself, I have to do this, it creates a world where you're so isolated that you're not even here anymore. You guys. Sometimes I feel like that because, especially this year, I've been working a lot, and sometimes I just feel like I can't even talk to anybody about it, like, you guys. And it's like, you feel lonely sometimes. So I feel like, as men, even though I guess how we handle things is the way we handle things, I feel like just talking about it will help us, because it's just like, I don't know, I feel like it takes a load off sometimes when I can just call you and tell you, okay, this has happened. And for that whole call, maybe, like, sometimes we even do group calls where we're just yanning, and I'm like, for that, maybe those 2 hours or 3 hours on the call, everything just feels like okay again. You get it? I'm not even talking about my problems. I'm talking about, I might just be gisting or just talking about other people.
It's feel good vibes.
Just feel good, yeah. You get the vibes are good. You get it? So just talking and like, just being about people that care about you goes a long way. Just telling people you love them as well. Man, tell your friends you love them, bro. That's another thing, man.
Love you, bro.
I love you too, bro. I know guys don't do that, bro. Why don't I, like, like, there's one time, your coronation last December.
It wasn't my coronation. It was
Sorry, so your dad's thing. Sorry. When you posted the pictures,
yeah,
I think I put on my story and was like, oh, my king or something, and I put a heart emoji. One people was not like, guy, what are you doing? I was not like,
Chidi.
If
I tell you how many people have called us out for our relationship, right?
Bro, I was like, is this a thing?
Yeah, bro. Guy, let me tell you something, right? because it's even good that you said this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because June is also what, Pride Month as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Women are the most homophobic people you will ever fucking meet.
Yeah, like
God.
it's actually quite shocking. It's quite shocking,
Nah,
bro.
man.
Like, I was actually blasted. I was like, guy, like, is this not like normal?
They are the most homophobic.
Like-
It's not. Because literally,
Maybe they're not used to it.
that's the thing, right? This is going to sound somehow, but like, especially, how do I put it? When it became more, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say mainstream, but I guess socially acceptable, even if you weren't like part of the LGBTQ, at least to like speak in support of it. So we're talking maybe the mid 2010s into like till now, right? Initially, to me, it was a lot of babes that were big proponents of the LGBTQ community, if that makes sense. So I just think, babes automatically were pro LGBTQ. So when like I got my first homophobic statement from a woman, I was like, yo, Twitter is not real life.
It's not real life.
It's not real life.
Because many women deal with, like, when I say I watch Bridgerton, for example,
Yeah.
babes are surprised. I'm like, damn. And they're like, bro, you don't know any guy that watches it, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like, for them, their reality is actually different because the men in their lives don't even hug, they even say those kind of things. So it's weird for them. You get what I'm saying? It's not manly.
I think, because the thing as well is a lot of our ideas of what, I guess, gender roles and like that looks like is what we experience at home, right? Because I always tell people, for example, now, my dad, I can't remember the last time my dad came and yarned me, oh, I love you. My dad's I love you is I'm proud of you. Do you get what I mean? So, because of that, for some people, do you get what I mean? If you didn't grow up with your dad being like super, because there are some girls I know as well that have very super affectionate dads. So, because of that, they're not like surprised when a guy is affectionate. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with like moms as well. Do you get, so what you experience at home really is like not necessarily what you would draw outside, but what first catches your eye outside, if that makes sense. Like what you will notice first, not necessarily what might attract you first, if that makes sense.
And it's quite surprising. I'm surprising that I'm this way because I was in a call and they asked like every guy, when the last time you hugged your dad? And I was like, I don't even remember the last time I even had a handshake.
First.
So the way I'm like affectionate with my guys, I wonder where I got. I always think maybe it's white sands because we've been like that since then.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, but like you said, like many in like maybe an African aspect.
Yeah.
Many families, their dads are not really like affectionate or whatever. So I think it's weird when I see guys like me or us like saying, "Oh, we love you," or showing affection in public type shit.
I think I'm going to reword that because I don't think it's they aren't affectionate. I think their affection looks different. So for a lot of guys, right, like it might not be in that generation, it might not be hugging and saying I love you, but like for some people it's making out that little time to spend with you in terms of maybe, I don't know. For example now, my dad and I, okay, let's just say my dad and I, the little time we spend together, we watch ball together. We're not saying anything to each other or whatever. To that kind of person, do you get what I mean? That might be, do you get affection? So I think, with different people and different generations, it kind of looks different. For, a lot of people. Like,
would you have preferred a more stereotypical affection type dad, like, that will tell you I love you, that will hug you, that will like, you guys, would you have preferred that? Would you like?
No, because, how do I put it? Growing up, and, especially now that I'm older and I guess I understand things more, I never really felt like I was missing out on anything. Like, even though maybe my dad wasn't like the most verbally expressive or whatever, it was always something of, I guess I still knew and felt that he loved me regardless of like what, how he went about it. So because of that, I never grew up feeling or wanting more. Like I was content, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in that regard, not really. And I don't know. It's a thing of I'm a very big believer in taking people as they are and, trying to see the best in a lot of people, because there are a lot of people now, for example, okay, maybe this is going to be extreme, and some people might think it's shallow, but there are a lot of people whose dads are physically affectionate, will tell them I love you, whatever, but your daddy can't pay your school fees. Like, do you get what I mean? In
Do you
terms,
think that's mutually exclusive though?
no, I'm not saying it's mutually exclusive, but there are some people who that is their reality. Do you get what I mean? And there are some people who have both, but maybe their dad is, I don't know, neglectful in another way. Everybody's always going. My point is, everybody's going to always have their pros and cons.
Yeah.
You're always going to wish, or there's always going to be something somebody lacks, be it a parent, a partner. Do you get what I mean? But I guess shout out to J. Cole, love yours. That's just what
Yeah.
that's what I came with. But yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I wish it was different, to be honest.
Mm.
Because I get your point of view. Like, everybody has their pros and cons. But I just feel like, for me, like this leads to the whole Father's Day conversation, and like what kind of father I want to be. I don't think I would want to be the dad that shows love based on just paying my school fees or providing a like house over their head, or like or like making them financially stable. I don't think that's all I want to do in terms of being a father. I also want to show them that men can also be, like I said, the whole saying I love you, hugging them, because those things matter. Because I was thinking about it, like with my brother, and I remember one time he came back from uni, and I saw him. I didn't know whether to hug him. It was weird, and we eventually did, but it was just like, I don't know why I hesitated to do it, because that's not what I got from my own dad. You guys, but now I realized that I don't know. Like since then, I've just been like more intentional in doing what in that aspect, and like telling him I love. Because he even sends me something the other day telling me he loved me, and it's like, this is what I want in my relationship with him, and that's what I want in my relationship with my kids as well, to be able to express that to them. So me personally, sure, I want to show them that financially I can be there for you, and also emotionally as well. You guys, I don't want them to have to like infer that because I pay your school fees and because I gave you this house, or because I sent you to school abroad, I love you. I want them to also know, like, point blank period, that I do in me expressing myself as well. So those are views.
I agree with you. I feel I am also, what's the word? As I've grown up, right? Not just my dad, but I look at like our parents' generation as a whole. And what I've realized, especially for like a lot of people that, for them, a lot of men that, their relationship with their kid is sort of like provider, like this how I do. A lot of them, like when you look at their context growing up, if that makes sense, grew up maybe not poor, but like there was a lot to be done in that regard. And a lot of what our position is, as we move forward, is everybody tries to compensate for what they feel they lacked, if that makes sense. So for you, do you get what I mean? That's verbal and physical reassurance, if that makes sense. But with our parents' generation who grew up, a lot of our parents, our dads especially, were born like in and around that Civil War time, where there was a lot of instability. Like a lot of people lost, dads, brothers, family members. So because of that, you didn't even have a figure. Do you get what I mean? In that regard. And on top of that, a lot of people were thrust into different situations. So even though it's not ideal, do you get what I mean? You also kind of, for a lot of people, have to understand how they got there, even though it might not, you might still not be happy with what they are right now. Yeah.
That's what I learned. Like, cause me, I feel like people, I feel like as a child as well. When talking about just fathers in general, it's easy to just say that I hate them or they hate me. Jiggers. That's just simple analysis. But when you now actually like, okay, sit down, ask questions. How did they grow up? Like with context, like the whole Biafra war and everything. Like you understand, okay, this is why this person is like this, or this is why this is happening, or this is why, like you said, they didn't grow up with the lifestyle that we have now, that they provide us, so they're overcompensating on that regard. So I understand that, and I was talking to my mom one day, and she was like, understanding something doesn't mean you have to
like
okay
it.
with it. You guys.
Yes.
I feel like that's where I am in life.
Yes.
I can understand something.
Yes.
It doesn't mean I have to become.
Yes.
So I feel like that's just where I am, and I feel like every generation needs to get better.
Yes.
Every generation, that's the whole point of evolution, bro.
Yeah.
You guys, you can't
Be the same.
be the same.
Or
You
regress.
guys,
Yes.
but it's so easy. I was talking to one of our guys, and he was like, he invited his siblings to his yard, and he got them. Like they were watching TV. He bought them food. They were enjoying. They were playing like games and everything. And they came to ask him like, "Oh, like, won't you hang out with us?" And he said, "He's like, huh? I've already given you all these things, and she wants me to still hang out with you when I'm still working." That's when he now clocks in his head like, this is how his dad feels. Do you guess? And it's like, rah, like he now fully
Full
understood.
circle.
Yeah, full circle moment
Full
for him. He
circle
was like,
moment,
damn,
yeah.
I provided me all these things for my siblings, but they still wants me to hang out. And it's like, he said, it was like he didn't understand it. He now realized, and like that's my point. The whole point of that story was just to say that it's easy to say you're going to change, but you need to actually like understand and realize like it is so easy to repeat the cycle.
Oh yes.
It's so easy to be like, oh, I want to be better than my dad or my mom. But if you don't take active efforts to go to therapy to realize that this is how it is and actually put in the effort, you're going to be like them. It's so easy, bro.
I agree with you. And something as I've gotten older, I've become more conscious of is it's easy to talk till you have a child.
Bro.
Like,
Bro.
it's very easy
It's
to
so
talk.
easy to talk. In general, it's just easy to talk.
It's easy to talk normally, but
it's easy to
guy,
talk, bro.
when you become a parent, because one thing that my mom usually tells me is like, see, not saying that there's an excuse for ever being a bad parent. That's what she leads with. Where she's like, there is no way you parent and you will not fuck up at least once.
You fuck up for sure.
Like,
many times.
and you know, us as especially because like we're firstborns, we're, as they always say, the experimental children. Like, you know, they made their mistakes with us. Like, I look at my siblings, I'm like, damn niggas, your God is sweet. Like,
guy, let me even give you an example. I didn't get my first phone till I was 16. No, 17. That's when we left for SS. My brother got his when he was in SS1. And I was looking at my mom like, she made me, gave me every excuse on the book. I asked her almost every time for a phone. I just gave this nigga a phone. He didn't even ask who. He just gave it to me. Like, oh,
here
times are different. I need to call. I'm like, you need to call me. He didn't need to call me. Or like that, but I now understood, like, man, it's just the way it is. That's
like, it's just the way it is. Yeah, I couldn't even be angry. It's parental evolution, innit?
I couldn't even be angry, man. I was like, first,
I completely get that.
I understand.
Because with parents, like, how I put it, basically, even though obviously it's a conscious, like, at least with most people, it's a conscious decision to have a child. But here is another human being, and you're meant to, like, make it functional, if that makes sense.
And there's no rule book, bro.
Yeah. Because everybody is different.
Everybody human beings. We're no robots, bro.
Because with Father's Day as well approaching, right? There's this thing that I keep thinking about, which is, I agree, you know, as men, we need to be more affectionate. But at the same time, I still believe that, especially as a father, there's that firmness you still need with your kids. And what I mean by that is, for example, now, I want my kids to be people that have grit, if that makes sense. So they don't necessarily back down from challenges, like they're willing to push themselves, if that makes sense. And it's not like I'm going to start like abusing my child or whatever, but especially with kids, right? The disposition is the slightest bit of discomfort. I don't want to do it anymore. Do you get what I mean? Quit. And kind of that where it's like, I'm not going to say you must do it, but it's kind of like, okay, give it another try. You can't quit now. Give it another try. If maybe, I don't know, whatever it is, depending on context. Let's say next week, let's revisit this. But between now and then, you have to do that. There are some, like, as a child, you know, that might be something you carry into, I remember my child might come and be like, oh, I remember I wanted to stop maybe something like the piano now. And my daddy made me play and play till. Do you know what I mean? But you need, especially as a parent, I think like kids need experiences like that because the world isn't all nice. Do you know what I mean? You're going to need them.
I think the key word is balance. I think that's what my mom has always told me because my mom now, I feel like my mom even beats me more when I was a child.
Oh yeah.
I think my mom even like so when I do like calculations on my phone,
Yeah.
I can still like I still flinch sometimes because if I get something wrong, she used to like like
Guy,
go
man.
crazy,
Guy.
bro. So like till today, she
Mothers
was
as
even,
your first physical
guy,
abuse.
you get like you
Shout
get
out to the moms,
so
though.
I still even flinch, but
Yeah.
there's no one in this life
Yeah.
I'm closer with
No, yeah.
because even though she did all those things,
You also remember.
she was so loving.
Yes.
So I just think there's a balance, and like you being strict doesn't mean you have to be a devil.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I
You can be
agree.
strict and she shows so much love.
Yeah.
Do you get? So it doesn't have to be like just one path you have to take.
Yeah,
It just
but-
has to be balanced, man.
But don't you also feel like, how do I put it? At least as for me personally with my parents, it was as I got older I started understanding them more. Because my mom was like your mom initially, where it was like, guy, my mom, right? I didn't even used to like try to be around her too much because I was like, I know something bad is going to happen, right?
Bro.
And it wasn't until I got older, like, don't get me wrong, like, maybe sometimes it was excessive, but, like, it wasn't until I got older, it was like, okay, do you get what I mean? I kind of, like, understand where there were some things you could still have done better,
Yeah.
but back then, as maybe, like, a 10, 11, 12, or, you get, especially as a teenager where you're moody and all, guy, I wasn't checking for anybody, like, I genuinely wasn't checking for anybody, it's as you get older, do you get what I mean? Then, as a parent, like, a child is an investment. That's literally what it is.
Literally.
Because there are a lot of things you would do to your child that they don't understand in the moment. It's only until they are older and hopefully with, grace and reasoning. Because let me give you an example. So there was a time when I just entered like White Sands, right? And we started doing sports. And I remember the first 2 weeks, I started in goal. And I hated it. I hated it so much. So the following week, I was finally out of goal, but nobody passed me the fucking ball. And I remember that day, my dad came and picked me up from school. And I was complaining to my dad. I was like, Daddy, nobody's passed me the ball. This sucks. I don't want to do sports again. My dad looked me dead in the eye and was like, what are you going to do about it? And like, don't get me wrong, that moment, I was like, guy, this guy hates me. But like, it actually was a lesson that I carried on into life, which is, obviously speak about your issues, but you can't just stop at speaking. You actually have to do something active too. But at that moment, I was like, guy, I think I even stopped talking to him. I might have even gone on hunger strike based on like this. She want me to die. But do you get what I mean? So
I feel like it's also I feel like that's the beauty of life. Is just like now there are so many things, especially like being an adult now and like working and like there's so many things I realized I took for granted as a child. But that's just the beauty of life. As a child, you're not meant to know. Exactly.
That's what childhood is. You're so naive and absent-minded.
That's the beauty of being a child anyway. So, but it's something I realized in like being a parent as well, with the whole father's thing is like you also need to know the kind of child you have.
Yes.
Every
child is different.
There's some children that, bro, like for me, the kind of person I am, shouting is not going to do anything for me. Like, if you change it for me, I'm not going to learn. I need a calm mind, like someone that is just calm. Because if you're doing all of that, that's for yourself, bro. You get. But some people that need to be like they get shouted at, they change up. So you just need to know the kind of child you have. I need to know how to manage it. Because if you don't, that's where you fuck up. Because if you're too encouraging to the one that needs to be pushed, that's the problem. If you're not too hard on the one that needs encouragement, that's another fuck up. So that's the whole challenge. That's the whole challenge, man. But anyway, man.
Let me tell you a funny ass story. So I remember when I was younger, like maybe like 4 or 5, right? You know, at all these birthday parties back then, like how you would have like Barney, Michael Jackson. I used to be terrified of them things, right? And I remember I went to there one time with my parents, and I ran to my dad, because back then, like, guy, it's also funny because as a child, I feel like when you're young like that, you grow up thinking your dad is God. Because I went to my dad thinking like, guy, once I get to my daddy, everything is going to be all right, so problem solved. And I went to my dad, I was like, Daddy, I'm scared, Daddy. My dad fully drank me. I was like, my friend, why are you afraid? if I can find the picture before this episode drops, I'm going to send you. Guy, I literally was screaming like as they were, but I was like, nothing is going to happen to you. Stand strong, guy. And I was, guy, because I had like you know back then as well at these birthday parties, they would paint your face and everything.
Yeah, you had the painted
So,
face, bro.
guy, I had a painted face. I was Spider-Man. I'll never forget. But guy, the paint was wiping off because my tears. I was screaming.
No, you have to think about it. Like you're in a party with your friends, and your child is just screaming and like moving mad. You're like, bro, like relax. Like when you're embarrassing in front of the hoes, man. Like,
guy,
literally.
after that, I probably. But like I got over my fear immediately after. Do you get what I mean? But that moment, like I thought my dad was genuinely trying to feed me to these things.
Yeah, like I remember this even taking me back as well. I used to be like scared of like sleeping alone.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
Yeah.
And my dad one day was just like, what's wrong with this guy, man? Go to your room and sleep alone. Guy, at that moment, I thought this guy was the devil. I'm like, telling you, guy, I am scared. You're telling me to go to the place where he's making me afraid. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm like, guy, I hated him for the longer, but like, obviously, like, you needed to have boy. Like, as a child, man, that's not what you're thinking about, man. Like, you're like, bro, you just want, like, I feel like as a child, you want your parents to just take you out of every uncomfortable situation you feel like you're in.
Yes.
But it's like, bro, obviously there are some places that you, as a child you should never be in.
Yeah.
But there's some uncomfortable situations that you have to be in and learn and get out of. That's just weird. But as a child, you don't give a fuck about that, man.
Because imagine, like, how do I put this? Imagine you're afraid of sleeping because this is a common thing with some kids. But then you're getting in between mommy and daddy time. Like,
you get
like you actually have to leave.
Like, you get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, you get.
Guy, because
as a point, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, like your action. Guy, imagine like after a long day of work, you know, your missus rubbing your. There's some imp just enters your bed. Daddy.
Yeah, cock blocking, bro. Like, swear to God. Exactly.
You have to go, man.
Yeah, but it's like, again, like, obviously, we're at that age where we're like, I think, like you said, our frontal lobe is like
forming.
So
almost there, man. Yours is next month. Apparently, 25 is the age.
God damn. I don't feel like even at 24, so I think that's when I started understanding things more. Yeah.
Your third eye opens, man.
Literally. Like, so many things. Even like with politics and like human relations and everything.
Yeah.
You just have to understand things more. So, yeah, we need to cut down some slack, but at the same time, we need to also
hold them accountable,
man, because you'll be doing some bullshit sometimes, bro.
Well,
but it's hard, man.
To the fathers, to the single fathers, to the fathers trying, to the present fathers.
Should we say deadbeats as well?
To the deadbeats as well.
Yeah, being a deadbeat is crazy, man. Jesus Christ.
God.
Like, I don't even like knowing that you have a child out there that you're not even in their life. I don't know, man. Isn't that crazy?
For some people, they didn't want the kid.
Even though, bro, but they're alive now.
So you didn't want it. Like, how do I put it? Like, it's like, Chidi, imagine, okay, I want to get you, I don't know, like a Toyota Corolla, right? And you tell me vehemently you don't want it, and I deliver it to your car, to your house, and you decide not to drive it. Like, is that, how do I put it? Do you get what I mean? Like,
because you go for me, I'm going to drive it. Do you get what I'm saying?
But there are some people who, because that's not what they wanted, they will not touch it. If that makes sense. Like,
it's different if you're like, if you get me a belt I don't want, a tired. Like, this is a human being, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole human being that has to go through life alone because you're not there.
But would you rather that, or in quote and unquote being present, you're now so resentful to the child? Because there are a lot of people who maybe would look into themselves and it's like, if I'm in this child's life, I'll be so resentful. It's better I'm not even in the picture at all.
I feel like a child will still appreciate someone that was still there. That's one that wasn't. Because there are so many people, I don't even want to, like, example, like, I was at the mechanic last week.
Yeah.
And this child, he came home from school. He walked from school to the mechanic shop by himself.
Yeah.
This child was no more than maybe 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. Yeah.
So when he came, his dad is still working on my car by like 8 p.m. He's sweating and like, he probably hasn't even eaten that day. Yeah. But his dad was still there and he was so happy to see his dad. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's so many guys that are still like, even though they're still suffering, they're still happy that they still have parents. Do you get what I'm saying? So I still think that having a present, even though it should still be hard, but I think having a present dad is still better, bro. Or if present parents, it's still better, man.
Fair enough. Because there are a lot of people, they say this, right? There's this thing I've been seeing like on TikTok and online, which is your children are better off if you and your wife or partner are taking care of each other. So they basically what the idea behind it is, in a marriage, your marriage comes first, not the kids. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And imagine a situation where you hate your BM, like you hate her guts. For me personally, I don't know, like it's a 50-50. Like obviously you think about the child, but you also have to think about yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's easy to talk, Sha. Until
Yeah,
it's easy to talk, because people, I've had this conversation, especially with like some babes, and they're like, "What would you do like if you had a kid now?" And I'm like, my answer is, I hope I never find out, because I don't know what
I feel like
might.
your mentality will change. Obviously, it has to change. But I just feel like
Chidi, I don't know if I'll be there.
you don't think you'll be there.
I don't know.
How about you'll be there,
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm just saying I don't know. Like, there are instances where I see myself being there, and there are instances where I don't. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, that's why I'm saying I hope I don't have to find out.
I feel like the whole process.
Yeah.
Like when she tells me till she gives birth,
Yeah.
I'll probably be the most unhappy man on this planet. But when I now see that child,
but to be fair, I've always said I wanted kids. Like,
yeah,
I feel
like when I now see that child, the hair,
you forget about your
forget about those please, man. Like,
yeah.
Every man that has spoken about having kids is
always
like
talks about how kids change your life changes.
Your life changes. So they can't all be lying. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's the way I view it.
There's one of my cousins that, like, last year and the year before, so he has 2 kids now, right? So the year before and last year, I swear to God, that nigga got stronger physically, like, ever since he got kids. Like, he got a strength boost, bro. Because I remember, like, we used to, like, play fights and everything. So last year now, guy, like, that nigga strong.
Yeah, genius. So I don't know, man. Obviously, like, having a child at this age is crazy. Yeah. Especially financially as well, man. In this economy. Yeah. Even the guys that make diapers, they left Nige. So the prices of diapers are going to, like, skyrocket, bro. So yeah.
How do I put it? Like, imagine being a parent, right? And looking at your 2-year-old that. Let me just paint a basic scenario for you. So you know when kids are learning how to use, like, their fork and knife, they are wasting the food, they are staining themselves. Yeah. So guys, that's laundry detergent. And food that's been wasted. Like, imagine you budgeted, okay, this pack of Omo is going to last like maybe like 2 weeks. Then you have a fucking kid that keeps. Do you get what I mean? I'm just there.
Yeah, you have to have so much patience as a parent.
You're just there, you're like, man, I have to love this child. Go ahead.
I think after they do that, they now start smiling or start laughing. You just forget it, man. Man.
Let me tell you now, my youngest brother, right? So, to be fair, for the most part, he was a good baby, right? But he was there, obviously, still doing the regular baby shit. And there was one time, like you said, like, when they smile, you just... So my dad, like, I'll never forget. My dad picked him up, he was just, like, so happy. My son. Guy, he told my dad he slap. My youngest brother, Tochku, like, he could slap so hard. Because, bro, like...
So your dad is slapping brain.
No, like, because it was... Guy, when I say resounding, it hurts my dad. See, my dad isn't an angry person, right? Yeah. But in that moment, I saw anger flash through his eyes. And it was a moment. Where, like, because obviously he has Tochku in his hands. Yeah. And it's a moment where we're, like, all looking and we're praying he doesn't just spike into the floor.
If you want that child, you have to allow.
I think he was just like, he just called my mom, was like, come and take your child. And just like, guy had to go let us on steam. Because think about it as well, like, that's also a 1-year-old, so you can't even really para too much.
For the guy, man, because the guy just slapped you, bro. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Guy, like, bro.
I don't think you're gonna say that he vomited on him.
No, nigga. No. When I tell you kids, right?
Guy, my brother used to pull Norman's hair all the time, man. Like, we used to have beef, like, proper beef. Like, I don't know how they even love each other now, because they used to fight all the time, man. Kids are so crazy.
Yeah, but do you know
violence, bro.
Did you know something, right? Because obviously, between you and Norma, there's a smaller gap, and then, like, you and Cece is how many years? 5. Like 5 years. But me and my siblings, like, we're more spread apart, right? I don't know about you, but in my household, like especially before I left, so when I was like, so I left at 16. My immediate younger brother Ina was 12. Tochko was 9. It was like we're strangers living in that house because why am I coming to my yarn a 12-year-old and a 9 guy? Because I remember like I was yarning my guys about baddies, and back then Ina was very much in his Jesus bag, so you can't be wrong to tell my mom, Mommy Chukudi is talking to girls.
Jesus bag is funny.
Because it was so annoying, and I was just like, so because of that, like we didn't really have much of a relationship, but now like you said, like your siblings, they're all tight. Like now we're all tight. We've all grown up, and my parents, like my mom was just telling me because there was a time we were in the village, and Aina and Tuchku were fighting, and my mom was stressed, man, because Aina and Tuchku would fight anywhere, man. I remember the one time they fought in the airport, and like airport security were looking at us as felt like, so like my mom went to my grandma. I was just like, guy, does it get easy? Does it get easy? I was like, yeah, give it some time, but guy, imagine having to wait like 15 years.
Waiting all that time, man.
Guy.
But yeah, now I think about it, like obviously because me and Norma were close in age, like I don't think we were that close until maybe like that uni time. Yeah. Because obviously we're older now. Yeah. Obviously when you're a teenager, you just hate your sister. Yeah. Normally. But
you hate your siblings.
See your siblings, man. Yeah. But yeah, I think now we're older, like, bro, I remember the time my brother was talking to me, like when he came back. Yeah. He was talking to me about babes. I'm like, damn. We've reached this point.
We're at this point.
I was like, damn, I was so happy, man. Because finally, bro, I can fucking talk to you about babes, like, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Because mine was...
The transition is crazy.
Yeah, mine was Naya when we're in... He moved to UK during that COVID year. Okay. And basically, he and I had spent lockdown together, right? I mean, after a point, because we didn't have much of a relationship, like it was like, alright, cool. But initially, like, after a while, we're just speaking, and guy, those are some of like he and I look back at it, and like, guy, remember when we were in trenches, like we suffered. What's that thing where you can't sleep at night together?
Insomnia.
Yeah, we suffered insomnia together, guy, or. I'll come back after, lashing a babe. I'll just be like, guy, these are my head. I like, nah, man. Different times. Man.
Like that transition to hating them to loving them is just like
crazy. And do as a parent, like also having to navigate that as well. I think, cause bro,
you like, want them to get along, but they're not getting
along. Like,
but you just have to give it time.
Like, why can't you share? Like, imagine now, for example, right? Not saying that my siblings ever happened in my household, but imagine how you're three in your family and how you're three in mine. Imagine there are 3 slices of bread, so everybody can get one. But then one annoying child comes and you, but he's 2. Why does he need a whole like those shit like
like I don't know. It's crazy because I just think I think you've even said before like siblings are like strangers you have to get along. Yeah. And that learning process to learn how they are takes time. Because I remember, bro, lockdown, when my mom said that when my sister was coming to stay with me in Kent, I was like, fuck. Me and this babe have never stayed in the room together. Because me and her are opposites in terms of she's a clean freak and she's like very irritable. Yeah. And I'm the opposite, bro. Yeah. I'm like on my own, man. So I was so scared like when she was coming, like, damn, how is it going to be staying like a month or 2 with this babe? When she came and like we just respected each other's spaces, and it was like a maturity to it. Yeah. I'm like, damn, that's life. Life is crazy because if we did this like 5 years ago, we would have killed each other in that place, man. So just like it just takes time, man. Genuinely.
No, but on because we have to round over on that note. Do you know that lockdown thing is so funny because when Aina and I were staying together during lockdown, I remember my parents would call us maybe at least once a month, tell us how proud we are that we're getting, how proud they are that we're getting along and everything. Then it was one day we fought because we had spent at this point we had spent like 5 months together. So like, too much. So like, because I remember we called them like Aina and I were like arguing. And he called my parents, and my parents were together, smiling, ready to tell their children how much they love them for getting a guy. And you hear me screaming in the background, guy, you're a bastard. Guy, and I now came, I saw he had called my parents, and I saw my parents' eyes drop with fear. Like their reality was crumbling. Their reality was crumbling right before their very eyes.
They're really so proud. They're like, fuck, man, God.
Guy,
Jesus.
it
Well,
was
5 months is crazy, man.
nah, man. And it wasn't like back then. I was in uni at com, so it's not like we have a house. To ourselves.
together. Like
It was a bedroom. 5 months of sleeping cheek to cheek with each other, like bro.
Cheek to cheek is funny.
Bro, the idea of space was one of us would go to the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly,
Nah,
bro. Oh my
Well,
god.
on that note, we have to round off. But like I said, shout out to
Shout out
all
to
the
the
dads.
dads,
Shout
yeah.
out to the moms playing the roles of dads.
Yeah, for real,
You
man.
know, and to every man out there, take care of your mental health. Speak up. It's important. But till next time, catch you guys later. Safe.